Recently, I've sold some pretty high dollar cassette tapes over on eBay, and it got me to thinking, what if I didn't know that selling cassette tapes on eBay was such a profitable venture? What if no one had ever told me? And that got me to thinking, what if no one ever told you? In today's video, we're gonna talk about some cassettes that I've sold for $20, $30, $40, but we're also going to discuss a cassette tape I sold for almost $400, and I picked it up for 25 cents. We will journey through the eBay solds, talk about some cassette tapes that are currently selling for really big money. We are also going to discuss the highest selling cassette tapes of all time, and surprise, they go for thousands of dollars for a cassette tape. Alrighty. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel Strickland. I am a full-time reseller, and I've dedicated this YouTube channel to showing you how to become a full-time reseller also. If you like today's video, be sure you like today's video and consider subscribing so you don't miss upcoming videos on major purchases that you can flip on eBay for big money. This past month, I sold a couple cassette tapes over on eBay, and it got me to thinking about the highest selling cassette tape I ever sold. First, let me tell you about the two that I just sold. A thrift store pretty local to me looked like they had received a shipment maybe from a music store that went out of business or something. It was this carousel cassette tape holder, and there were so many cassette tapes in there. I remember having watched a YouTube video at one point. I remember just vaguely a few of the tips about the cassette tapes to be on the lookout for, and that's how I knew which ones to pick up. I knew that old rap tapes sell, as does heavy metal, a couple different genres we're gonna get into, but more than anything, if you can find a vintage sealed cassette, that is worth a lot of money, and that's exactly what I picked up for just 25 cents a piece. You don't have to know the artist or the music to make big money, as you will see from the ones that I picked up. Exhibit A, this group is Playa. It is a sealed rare Playa cassette, Cheers to You audio tape, and I keyworded it 90s Y2K rap hip hop. Guys, from that 25 cent pickup, I sold this for $45 plus $5 shipping. Here's one that I just sold. This was a Queen cassette, New Queen, A Kind of Magic cassette tape, 1991, reissue, remaster, classic rock, rare. I took a best offer from $43.90 plus $5 shipping. I actually sold this for $37. One thing I want you guys to take note of is zooming in on the pictures here. You can see I keep all of the original stickers and all of the original price tags on the cassettes. There are some stickers that you can get on vintage cassettes that came out originally with that cassette. Those stickers are actually a part of what makes the cassette so valuable. So you do not want to peel off any of the cassettes. Not to say that these particular price tag stickers made it valuable, but who's to say which stickers a collector's really looking for? So I leave all of these in place. I've sold several different cassettes from this particular lot that I picked up. I sold some vintage Foo Fighters, some vintage Smashing Pumpkins. I think I even had a Gwen Stefani in there, but nothing compared with this next one I am about to show you. I have never heard of this group. I still am gonna have to look at it to remember the name. The only way that I knew the value of this was because when I bought these cassettes, I looked up every single one of them when I got home and found out that this one is extremely rare. GZA Liquid Swords cassette, new factory sealed, original press, 90s Wu-Tang. This is not Wu-Tang Clan. This is from what you guys here on YouTube explained to me during a live show. This was Wu-Tang before they were Wu-Tang, and apparently it's highly desirable, and that helped me sell this one cassette that I picked up for 25 cents for $389 plus shipping. Almost $400 for a cassette tape. I was once just like you, oblivious to the fact that people collect these for hundreds of dollars. I hope that this original pre-Wu-Tang cassette is not the most expensive one I ever sell. It is so far, but I have my eye on the prize, and that is some of these next ones I'm gonna describe to you guys, because if you think $389 is high for a cassette tape, you haven't seen anything yet. I could only hope that if you have found original Tupac, especially a sealed cassette, you would know to pick something like that up. But if you didn't, pick something like that up, because this one just sold. They took a best offer from $1,250. We can only assume they must have sold it pretty close to that, because here is another one sold on January 29th for $1,000, you guys. $999.99. Now that first one that sold, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, cassette tape, sealed, double tape, US release, 1996. It's important to note some of those details. Certain foreign releases sometimes of cassettes can go for more money than others. If there are certain hype stickers on a cassette, if it is an original release versus a re-release, all of those details truly matter. The second one that sold for $1,000, the title was Sealed, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, 2-time audio tapes set. So I think this is actually like a 2-piece set. I think there are 2 tapes in there because from the keywords of both of those really leads me to believe there might be 2 tapes in there. I will tell you, when you are selling cassettes or any type of audio or media, the condition truly does matter. If it's not new, don't say that it's new. If it's opened, don't say that it's new. If it's used and you can see scratches and things, don't detail the condition as mint or even very good condition. If there are scratches on the case, collectors want to know. If there are folds to the lyric sheet inside, collectors want to know. Take pictures of all of that. It truly matters, and it will prevent you from getting a defect or a return later down the road. Collectors don't demand perfection, but I think as a seller of something highly collectible, we should assume that a collector wants it in perfect condition, and anything that causes it to be less than perfect should be detailed in your listing. The item will still sell, you're just being extremely honest and upfront with the buyer. Worst case scenario, it arrives and it's in even better condition than they expected, and that is a positive feedback and a return customer headed your way. Let me thank the sponsor of today's video, Shotengai, the Japanese snack box you didn't know you needed, but after you watch this little clip of my husband and I opening the snack box, I hope you're ready to order one too. It's here. Drew, it's here.
The new truck you got me?
No, this new snack box from Shotengai. I'm probably butchering that because I don't speak Japanese, but I do eat Japanese food. And this is an entire snack box filled with Japanese delicacies. Get over here, let's try this. Drew, I feel like it's been a while since you've been on the channel. If all it took to get you in front of the camera was snacks, I could have done this a while ago.
All you have to do is feed me.
Huge shout out and thank you to the people over at Shotengai. I'm just gonna show you guys because I am sure I'm probably mispronouncing that. Oh my goodness, look at all these snacks. How do you say that?
Strawberry salt cookies. That's how you say it.
Awajishima. Oh, these smell good. Cheers. And next up is almond tofu chocolate. Almond tofu originates from China, but is also a highly popular dessert in Japan. It does smell like a little fruity. So it's like almond bark, but with tofu in it. That tastes nothing like white chocolate to me, because I don't like white chocolate, but I like this. So this website actually offers, you can get 1 box, you can get a recurring subscription. I think you can get 6 months, 12 months. I am linking everything down below in the description, as well as the discount code that they have provided me just for you guys. The value of this box is $60, and feel how heavy that is. Several pounds of snacks. You cannot have them all.
What?
The next one is a gluten-free cut bomb kuchen, Japanese grown rice.
I like how you're trying to speak Japanese.
Look, you guys, it's like layers of cake. That reminds me of like a pinwheel or something.
Very soft.
Okay, Drew really likes the sponge cake apparently. Well, that's that.
It's gone.
All right, so here is our dried watermelon. Cheers. That's not as sweet as I thought it was gonna be. Like if you added a smoky flavor, you could almost make a jerky out of that.
Yeah.
It is not sweet at all. I can't believe we get to try all these. Like, this is food that I would never have tried. It bothers me that there's food in other countries that you've never seen and will never try, into like a little ice cream cone. I feel like the amount of food alone in this box is worth a subscription fee, but then the fact that someone specially like curated all of these products and you get the book to tell you all about it is pretty cool too. Shotengai allows people like me who have never been to Japan to explore it with healthy snack boxes that are delivered straight to your door from Japan every month. Next up, we have 2 different examples of Bone Thugs and Harmony cassettes that sell. I'm telling you guys, vintage rap music absolutely sells. Pick it up when you see it in cassette form. Now, this one's pretty interesting. It's that same Tupac cassette. This one they had listed for $142. It looks like they had tapes 1 and 2, and they took a best offer. So I'm not sure if there was some damage there. We have multiple comps showing us that that is a high selling cassette. So it could be that the seller really sold themselves themselves short there, or maybe the cassette itself was damaged. There are tons of examples of people selling off entire lots of cassettes. Now, there's two things to note about that. That may be a great way for you to get rid of several $20, $30 cassettes all at once without having to list them individually, and it may prove to be a really fantastic sourcing opportunity. Suppose in this lot of over 50 cassettes, you found a couple that were worth several $100s a piece. You may be able to source directly out of lots like this listed on eBay. Nonetheless, this one sold for $389 for over 50 cassette tapes. We have this cassette tape lot that sold for $120 with 16 bids, so we know it has been proven that there are multiple buyers for cassette tapes and audio music collectors over on eBay. I thought this was a pretty interesting one. It says Tupac cassette tape, It Ain't Easy, 3 versions. The original tape, 1994, and guys, this is actually recorded onto this tape. Maybe it is really hard to find all 3 versions. I'm not sure, because this one sold for $100 with free shipping. It reminds me of those VHS tapes that you can get where like someone recorded Saturday morning cartoons on Nickelodeon. If you want me to do a video about VHS tapes that were recorded, like blank VHSs with TV recordings, let me know. Drop that in the comments. I'd be happy to research those type VHSs and put out a video like that for you guys, but that's what this reminds me of for sure. Here is one that sold for $1,500. This is Chef Raekwon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Only built 4 Cuban links. Purple tape, 1995. Yeah, that's $1,500, you guys. And here's a pretty interesting one. Tommy Wright III, On the Run, cassette tape, hip hop, rap, rare, 1998 Memphis. Sold for $899.95 with free shipping. Let's talk about demo tapes, including this Korn demo tape. This is vintage from 1994. Now, one of the photos actually says here, demonstration, not for sale. If you see that on a cassette tape, it's unopened, it's a popular group, that is a demo tape, and that could command a lot of money. Like this Korn tape, again, that sold for $700 plus $12 shipping. Hey, I think this might be the same group as the one that I just sold, Playa Fly. Mine was Playa. I don't know if that's the same group or not, but this one sold for $699.95. Here's another one of those Raekwon, only built 4 Cuban links with signatures. So this one was opened, where the first one was sealed. This one is open, but this one is also signed. OG 1995 cassette tape, Raekwon Auto. They took a best offer off of $600. Here is another enormous lot of tapes. Ultimate old school 80s, 90s rap, hip hop, R&B cassette tape lot of 240 tapes. They took a best offer from $1,500. But did you know that even blank cassettes sell for really good money over on eBay, especially if you were able to lot them up? And no blank cassette tape sells like a metal blank cassette tape. I don't mean heavy metal, I mean a recordable cassette tape that is currently blank, but it is a metal cassette. Check out this comp. This is Maxell MX90 metal 12-pack box, blank audio cassette tape, sealed, NOS. Our new tapes, never been taped over. Again, it's a 12-pack. They sold for $650, guys, and that is not a standalone comp. Let me show you some of these other metal cassette tape comps. 5 Maxell metal Vertex MV90 audio cassette tape, Type 4 metal, over $1,000, shipping over from Australia. This one is rare Alpine metal tape, MT90 blank audio cassette tape, 50 bids, $810. Another box here of 10 That's MRX Pro 60 Type 4 blank, $540, you guys. And then we have box lots of 5 of these cassette tapes selling for $525. The thing all of these blank cassettes share in common is that they are metal, and the audio quality, the treble, the bass, the way that it records, as well as the way that you were able to record audio from this cassette tape, is apparently far superior than other cassette tapes. When you see blank media in the form of a blank cassette tape, double check and see if it is a metal cassette, because that is truly what you are looking for, and I'm just constantly floored at how much those sell for. I want to talk to you guys about the highest selling cassette tapes of all time though, because even the $1,500 one, we're about to blow out of the water. And if you ever see these, I'm telling you, you just won the lottery. You are cashing in big time on payday. Are you guys ready for this? You are not ready for this. Okay, so remember when I told you about the cassette that I sold that was GZA? It's Wu-Tang before they were Wu-Tang. Well, this one is Linkin Park before they were Linkin Park. And it's called Zero with an X. X-E-R-O. Linkin Park really went out there with this name. This is from 1997. This is a demo tape and it features the earliest material from the band that later became Linkin Park. Now guys, I got all of the information on these highest selling cassette tapes that I'm going to be discussing with you from Discogs. Discogs is a website where you can specifically buy and sell media. I've never sold over there, but I know people that are intense collectors look there for items to add to their collection, and people that know that they have something that is invaluable don't always sell it on eBay. They head over to Discogs and sell it over there. So all of the information that I'm giving you about the highest selling cassette tapes of all times did come from an article I found on Discogs. I will link it down below in the description as well. But this one sold for $4,500. You could buy a used car for that, or you could buy this original Linkin Park cassette. Currently none available on eBay. Discogs does currently have one for sale for just over $1,000, $1,085. 4 copies available. If you find one like this, it could be an incredible investment piece. This cassette is incredibly unique. This was actually gifted to people that attended the Versace fashion show in a Fashion Week Paris 1995. This is the Versace Experience Prelude to Gold. It is a Prince cassette. I guess this is maybe the music they played at the Versace fashion show at Fashion Week in Paris. Guys, it sold for $4,395. There is only one copy available on Discogs right now, and it is for sale for $4,891. It has to be one of the highest prices on any cassette available on the internet today. Almost $5,000 if you want to own a copy of the Versace Experience Prelude to Gold. That is by the artist formerly known as Prince. I'm honestly not entirely sure how to pronounce this next artist. It is spelled like always, but instead of a W, there are 2 V's. So does that make it Alves? Alves? However you pronounce it, this one is their self-released cassette. It's their first single that they ever released, and it sold for $3,448. And get this, the cassette is from 2013, which makes it even stranger because I remember 2013 like it was 11 years ago, and I don't remember a whole lot of cassettes. Here's a cassette by an artist called Dirty D. The title of the cassette is The Intro. Discogs details it as an obscure gangster rap cassette with little information online and one hefty price tag because it sold for $1,800. Here we have a cassette by Buck65. Year Zero is the name of the cassette. Sold for $1,578. There's currently one listed for $1,500. This one I thought was pretty interesting. It's Celine Dion music by Louis Furey. Operation Beret de Pinotes. If we've learned anything in today's video, it's that I am not bilingual. I cannot pronounce French any better than I pronounce Japanese. But this one is from 1985 and sold for $1,500. Currently none available online. This one sold without even having a case. The Serpent's Stepson. It's by Lil Jon. It was from 1995 and sold for $1,500. The number 9 spot here, I sound like Casey Kasem. It is by the artist Various de la Viande pour le Disco. It's from 1995, so not during disco, but it did sell for $1,473. And the number 10 spot is a cassette that sold for $1,463. It's by Boards of Canada, Bach Maxima. It's from 1996, $1,463. That's quite a lot. Like any good cassette, let's do one bonus track and do the number 11 because I thought that this was pretty interesting. If you find Eminem's Tracks from Slim Shady EP from 1997, it sells for $1,400. Currently, there are 2 copies available on Discogs, the lowest of which is priced at $2,000. Are cassette tapes making a comeback? I have seen in recent years cassette tape players in stores, and the vintage ones, well, they can go for a lot of money too. Just two little examples here for you guys. If you find big boom boxes like this one, this is the JVC PC RM100JW, super rare vintage with detachable cassette player, sells for almost $3,000. And certain vintage Walkman like this Sony TPS-L2 Walkman or the Sony Walkman DD, that is the Walkman DD9, selling for around that $2,000 mark for those. That is crazy, and likely something you could find at a yard sale for a couple bucks. You might walk right by, and since yard sale season is upon us, I want to arm you guys with this information. One word of warning is that cassette tapes, much like VHS, do continue to degrade over time. So if you are storing any type of media, please ensure that is a well-ventilated area that is climate controlled. Don't leave those cassette tapes out in the sun. Don't leave them in your car if you buy them at a yard sale. And don't pay up too much if you buy them out in the sun at a yard sale if it looks like maybe they were stored in a garage, in a shed, in a shop, because tape media, again, is just something that degrades over time. It's unfortunate, but that will cause loss of value. I hope you guys have learned something today, even if it's just to take a second look at those cassettes, especially the blank ones, and run comps. And when in doubt, use the words of my dear friend Christopher. He is I Buy Chit, and he always says, look everything up. That is how I profited big time on the cassettes that I sold. Look everything up. I thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Thanks again to Shotengai, and check the description if you want to order your own Japanese snack box for you or someone you love. As always, thanks for watching. God bless, and remember, treat your business like your business.